Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. I had an idea for a video, and I figured I'd do it. I touched on some stuff in a previous video. Go back and check them out. I touched on some different kinds of technology that scared me. I think I called it the singularity, the technological singularity. That's what it is. And I touched on a few little different things there, the invisibility cloak and artificial intelligence and like that. And so it struck me that people might not actually be aware of what some of the different agencies and groups around the world are working on. So I did a little bit of research. I figure I'll start this one as Technophobe #1. That was the name of the book I was writing, by the way. I mentioned it in that other video. Technophobe Part 1. Here we go. Everybody is up in arms because the CIA has a lot of pull and a lot of clout, and they're mysterious, and well, you know what? They're not exactly the nicest people in the world either. In the 1970s, there was an investigation, a Senate investigation. I want to say it was the Senate. I know it was Congress. I'm not sure if it was the Senate or the House or both. But they were doing the Committee on Assassinations, because they were investigating, going over the Kennedy and the Martin Luther King Jr. assassinations, and a lot of stuff came out in that. A lot of stuff came out in that. There was some documents that were put out, and it was horrifying. Some of the things we found out that the CIA was doing, it's ridiculous. A lot of people don't know this, and I saw the video of the congressman. They're holding it in their hands, so they can't say this is make-believe. The CIA developed a gun, and this gun shoots an ice dart, and this dart contains a lethal toxin, something like blowfish toxin or something. But the idea is this poison gives people a heart attack. This is literally a heart attack gun. You shoot them, they have a heart attack, the ice melts, the poison goes away. The poison is virtually untraceable, very, very hard to detect. It wouldn't show up on a normal autopsy. It's an assassination's weapon, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's meant to be an assassin's weapon. Okay? And our CIA came up with that. That's a real thing. I'm not making that shit up. It's real. Okay? I'm using that as an example because it sounds kind of far-fetched, I know, but you got to understand. Our technology is far outpacing our wisdom, in my opinion. Go back and watch that video, the technological singularity. You'll see what I mean. There's some other things that you need to be aware of. Okay. First off, everybody's upset because the Japanese and a few other countries are putting out these sex dolls, and they're full-sized automatons. It's not them blow-up dolls you got in the 70s. Everybody was laughing at it. The big joke, These are fully functional automatons. They are robots, and they look like girls or guys, or in the case of pedophiles, they're making them for little kids. It's sick, but there it is. And these things are computerized. They can be programmed. They're dealing with artificial intelligence now to get them to respond like real girls or guys or whatever. And it's sick, but there it is. They're doing it. Okay? And the worst part is there's some people over in Europe. They may be starting it here too. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But a while back they were trying it in Europe. They're trying to give computerized machines, computers, civil rights, like a sentient human being. The same civil rights we have. Okay? These machines, if they get their way, these machines are going to have civil rights. which means your pervert goes out and buys one of these sex dolls and he wants to have sex with it. He has to ask its permission, otherwise it's rape. And if you think this is far-fetched, look it up. It's out there. It's asinine, but there it is. These machines. Next thing you know, your car, because it's got a little computer chip in there. It's a computer. It's computerized. You have to ask permission to drive your car. You have to pay your toaster to make you toast. Yeah, they get into that stupid. Okay, that's the level of stupidity that we're at right now when it comes to artificial intelligence. It's really, really getting out there. These people, they're I don't know if, honestly, I don't know if it's, because it's in Europe, and I'm not sure what groups are actually doing it, as far as I know. But in America, I know they're making robots for military applications, and I touched on this in the other video with the drones. But they have a four-legged, it looks like a big dog. It's a robot, and it's supposed to carry gear and stuff for the Marines and other military units. And you know, a robot that's controlled by a person, cool, no problem. An autonomous robot that can decide when to kill a human being, no, we don't need that. That's crap. Machines don't need to think. I'm sorry, but they don't. Machines need to obey orders, period. Otherwise, we're subverting ourselves. Same thing with these sex robots. Okay, you start giving them civil rights, and then what? You know, the machines be telling us what to do. Can't have that. Look, I'm the first one to say this sounds far-fetched. But when you look at some of the bullshit that these people are trying to put out there, and you know, and the sad part is, it's in Europe. You can't even blame the damn Democrats on this shit. This is in Europe, okay? But whatever happens over there will eventually get here. I'm just saying. I watched another video of a robot that it's on wheels. It looks like a big roller skater. It's a biped, so it's up on two legs, but it's on wheels like roller skates. And this thing can skate on one. It can skate over different obstacles and stuff. It's a marvel of engineering. But if you give that bad boy artificial intelligence and it decides it doesn't like taking orders, it can do pretty much whatever it wants, and we ain't got no choice but to blow the damn thing up. And if it's really tough, and there's a bunch of them, we could have some problems. You know, the movie Terminator is not outside the purview of this shit. I mean, it's getting bad. Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that. Let's get into another area here. And by the way, this is part one. There's going to be more down the road. Okay? People are upset now that people may be thinking of crimes. Implied or where you think of a racist thought, but you don't actually act on it. Okay, now, racism, I'm going to say this upright. Racism is bad. Everybody knows it. Nobody wants racists. Racists are evil. Okay? Now, that being said, you cannot control what's in somebody's mind. They can think anything they want. Otherwise, we're going to have the thought police. Okay? The reason I'm tacking this onto this one is there's a company that have successfully implanted memories, false memories, in a mouse. A little mouse running a maze. They have figured out how to implant false memories in a mouse. And you think, well, what harm can that be, right? That's, you know, there's all kinds of applications for that. You can graduate college in 2 days. Right? That's all well and good. Until the policeman comes over and pulls you over and says, well, we got you for murder. You murdered this guy over here. And you say, of course, well, I didn't do it. And, well, we've got 20 people over here that say they saw you do it. 20 top-notch witnesses. Half of them are police officers. Well, guess what? People have been convicted on far less. And you don't want to hear the sad part? None of those people are lying, because they remember seeing you do it. The good applications of this are many. The bad applications of this are, oh my God, extreme. Okay? You start fucking... Pardon. You start messing with people's minds and their memories. Our memories make up who we are. Okay? Period. You start messing with people's memories, you start messing with their humanity. And humanity is something we cannot afford to mess with. There's too little of it in our society as it is. Okay? That's all I'm saying. We all need to be more human. And messing with people's humanity is just, it's going to cause nothing but trouble. Along those same lines, I heard it today on the news. I was listening to a program this morning. I think it was Glenn Beck, but don't quote me. Elon Musk now has a computer algorithm. Oh, I'll do this part first. He now has a computer algorithm that translates the neural activity in your brain into words. So they now have a computer program that can literally read your mind. Your private thoughts are no longer going to be private. And what's worse than that? Okay? It's worse. If that's not bad enough, it gets worse. They also have a way to tweak or nudge your thoughts. So, and you won't even know it. So, it's mind control. Okay? And if you think this is far-fetched, our government has been trying to do mind control for a long time. Remember those documents I talked about in the 70s, came out during that congressional investigation? Some of it dealt with an organization called, an operation called MK Ultra. MK Ultra, all the documents were ordered destroyed. Turns out, a big box of these documents, at least a big box, they were misfiled. So they didn't get destroyed. And when they were looking through these documents for this other investigation, they found this big box of documents and brought it out. MK Ultra was run by, you're going to love this, scientists we got from Germany through Operation Paperclip after World War II. Nazi scientists came over and they were trying to help our government do this. MK Ultra was a project designed to create mind control, where they could control someone's mind. Elon Musk can now do it with a computer. Now, oh, but Elon Musk is such a great guy. Well, he may be. I don't know. I've never met him. Have you? But I know this. He also wants to put little microchips in your brain. He wants to put them in like strip malls so you can come in and do it like a couple hour day surgery kind of thing. He can do it. He says he can do it in a matter of, if I remember correctly, 10 or 20 minutes, and you're out with a little, and you're done. Okay? No thank you. Nobody's putting a damn computer anywhere in me or mine. Somebody tries, you will. I'm not a violent man, but if somebody tries to do that, you're going to see a level of violence. Just saying. There's another application I'm going to talk about this. Doesn't deal with mind control, but there's other things dealing in this technology that's bad, that needs to be discussed, and one of which is, it ties into 9/11. Okay. In September of 2000, there was a group called the Project for the New American Century, PNAC, P-N-A-C, PNAC. And Dick Cheney was a big part of that. They put out a statement saying something like, we needed to reorganize and rebuild our military into a big bad fighting force, and in order to do that, we needed to win a bunch of battles and win a big war and all that, so that people would get behind it and we could build it up and everything. And they said that this would be likely, in trying to convince people to do this, would be would likely be a long drawn out and difficult chore. And this is not exactly how they put it. I don't remember the exact quote, but this is pretty much what they said. It would be difficult to convince people to do this, to get behind it, the American public, unless we had another Pearl Harbor type event. That was 1 year to the month before 9/11. The biggest attack on American soil. 3,000 Americans, almost 3,000 Americans died, and it sent us into this perpetual war on terror in the Middle East. The reason I brought it up is because in this statement that PNEC put out, I don't know how you feel about 9/11, but that's not what this is about. In this statement that PNEC put out, Dick Cheney and all them, basically, and Donald Rumsfeld was in there. Who else was it? A bunch of the Bush administration was involved with PNEC. Dick Cheney was Bush's vice president. Okay. By the way, Dick Cheney on 9/11, and when we went into this perpetual war on terror, Dick Cheney owns a huge company that makes war materials, and they're making money hand over fist off of war, and now we're in a war on terror that's lasting forever. But that's not what this is about. Let me get back to the point. One of the things they stated was they want to use biological warfare to target specific gene types. Let me say that again. They want to use biological weapons to target specific genotypes as a useful political tool. Their words, a useful political tool. And people go, well, I don't understand what that's about. Well, let's talk about genotypes. Black people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people, anybody with a specific gene pool. This is a racist bomb that they're talking about. It's a biological weapon that attacks only certain races. It's racism defined. It is a racist's weapon. Okay? Let that sink in. And people go, well, you can't do that. There's no way to do that. Here we go. Back in the 1970s, South Africa was still under apartheid. And it was the little tiny white minority and the large black majority, but the large black majority really didn't get much of a vote. And it was, you know, it was, apartheid was not good. Let's leave it at that. But during the 1970s, this South African government developed a number of race-specific biological weapons, and they were selling them on the open market. Keep that in mind whenever somebody says, well, that's not possible. They already did it. It's there. It's done. They exist. Okay? If you want to do genocide, this is the kind of weapon you want. It's that simple. Okay? And it's evil. It's disgusting. But when you look at it from from a sick and demented point of view, they can be quite effective. I'm just saying. I didn't do it. I'm just telling you what's there. Okay? These people are developing technology that we don't want. Okay? I'm okay with a computer that you can control. I'm a writer. I use a word processor. They're good. They're better than typewriters because you mess up a page, you go no. You mess up there, you backtrack and keep writing. Okay, word processors are awesome. I like Facebook because I keep track of things and I can look up news, and I like the internet because I can look up news. The internet's okay because it's information, the free flow of information, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. A little too much porn on there for my taste, but hey, you know, each to their own. I'm not gonna judge anyone. But in that regard, there's a lot of things going on technology-wise that we don't want, we don't need. This is just a taste, okay? My fear is somebody's going to come to my door and say, well, we have 100 witnesses that saw you shoot so and so. Let's go. And what you can't argue with 100 witnesses. They can literally implant the memory of you shooting somebody in their head. So these people, and they'll pass a lie detector test because they're not lying. Okay, that's the scary part. And I shudder to think what evil people would do with this kind of technology. You know what I mean? I had to get this out there because it was bugging me. So I did it, and I'm going to do some other stuff on... My friend keeps bugging me, we'll do something on conspiracy theories, you're good at that. Yeah, but I don't really want to do that in this. This is all real stuff. So I'm trying to sort out some different things that are along the same lines, but are actually real, okay? Like this heart attack gun, okay? Nobody would believe that. If you told them that, oh no, that's just stupid. Well, no, the CIA has it. It came out in the 70s that they had it. All these suspicious heart attacks that political figures have, or journalists that it's, you know, they're in perfect health and they die of a heart attack. Knowing that the CIA can do this, now you start wondering. You know what I mean? At any rate, hope this finds everybody well. It's a hell of a note to end this on. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.